crazy things happening in the market right now. Bitcoin and gold are at all-time highs and the volatility is crazy. I mean, silver alone is putting on more in a few weeks than the total market cap of Bitcoin in total. We're also going to talk about the Bitcoin Cme Gap because we have two at the moment, and we can see right now the one we formed last weekend is actually being filled. We are just seeing a push in Bitcoin's price at the moment, but there's one more to go. We're going to talk about the US economy a bit, and of course silver and copper. So first of all, Bitcoin Cme gaps, right? These are filled 95% of the time, rather sooner than later. They're formed over the weekend when there's a price difference over the weekend, and because Bitcoin trades 7 days a week and the traditional markets, they only trade 5 days a week, the difference in Bitcoin's price that is formed over the weekend is here. It's a gap, right? There's a small gap here, and then last weekend we had a big gap, $2,500, and this gap is usually filled in the next week. And we can see right now the gap is here at $89,200, and currently we are at $89,500, and officially we have confirmed and filled last week's CME gap. Now we have one more CME gap to go, which is right here at $93,000 approximately, meaning with 95% likelihood, we are very likely now gonna keep going up and fill that CME gap at $93,000. Now, what is my strategy for Bitcoin? If you look at Bitcoin's price, we know that we are in a bear market, right? We've already hit our all-time high for Bitcoin's price here at $126,000. And over the last few weeks, we've been in a downtrend. Now, what usually happens once we start going down is that we retest this white line. And this white line is the 200 daily simple moving average, which is just the average price on the daily chart over the last 200 days. And we can see, if I go back in time to Bitcoin's last bull market, and the last peak for Bitcoin was of course in 2022. And if the chart would load, so it doesn't look like it's going to load right now, but basically what there is that I want to show you guys is that we retest this line. Last time we retested that line, actually let me just reload this page and show you guys, because I think it's important to see. So if we go to Bitcoin's last cycle, we can see it's right here. So we had obviously a peak of $69,000 per Bitcoin, then we went down and we retested the same 200-day simple moving average line, retested it here before going down. And the same thing is going to happen right now. If not exactly retesting it, I think we're going to get close. So what can we do? Well, first of all, we have the CME gap at $93,000, right? I'm pretty sure we're going to fill that one. And 93,000 is approximately here. Now, I think we're going to go there and then potentially go to hit the 200 daily moving average at $105,000. Now, if we do not go down from here, right? What I think is going to happen, hit the 93, then go close to here and then get rejected, same like last time. But if we do go above the 200 simple day moving average line, we can continue going up, because the S&P 500 has been going up, gold has been going up, silver has been going up, the M2 money supply, the total amount of money, US dollars in the market, it keeps going up as the US government keeps printing more money. And usually Bitcoin follows the traditional markets and it follows the M2 money supply. And therefore, if we do break up from here, we can go higher. I don't think that's going to happen though. Now, the next thing, let's talk about silver. I mean, silver is doing extremely good. If we zoom out here, especially over the last couple of years, I mean, I can go onto the weekly chart here. Look at what silver has been doing. It's crazy over the last few weeks how much silver has gone up. If I go back on the daily chart, we can very clearly see, and I'm having some troubles here with loading these charts, but I'm trying to show you guys that silver is really outperforming most other commodities at the moment. And we can see that actually today alone, silver has gone up 8%. The day before it hasn't gone up, but the day before that, again, 7.5%, and then 3.3%. So if you just hold silver, you're actually going to be really happy at the moment. And what do I think is going to happen for silver? Well, what we could be doing is following the same rally that silver has had in 1980. And we can see we're very close to there, but I think eventually all rallies will top out and we might see a correction very soon, same as we had in 1980. Now, silver on its own, actually over the last 3 weeks, and now silver is at $115 per ounce, but over the last 3 weeks, it has added $2 trillion in market cap. And that is more than the total market cap of Bitcoin on its own. I mean, look at these swings, plus 500 billion, minus 1 trillion, plus 500 billion. Bitcoin is a very big asset. And this just shows that silver is a very big asset. And it just shows that Bitcoin is nowhere near yet where it could be going. And of course, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is a much better asset than silver or gold. And I think there's a lot of potential for Bitcoin to get there. Now, next thing to talk about is obviously Trump is trying to devalue the US dollar. And by doing that, how does he want to do it? Well, he wants to reduce interest rates in order to refinance the debt that he has. Currently, there's $39 trillion of debt in the US, and the US government has to refinance around $9 trillion of debt and make payments for these debts at the end of the year. And what better way to do that is than reducing the value of the US dollars, so the debt in essence will be worth less than it is at the moment. So he's basically trying to get someone in the Federal Reserve in power who will reduce the interest rates, thereby reducing the value of the US dollar. Now, another thing that will do is bring production into the US. You can see here that basically since COVID, pretty much since the last 20 years, the industrial production in the US, like production inside the US, has not really gone up. It has just gone sideways and stalled. But if the US dollar loses value, that means importing goods from outside the US will be more expensive because the US currency, the US dollar, is worth less than foreign currency, so it costs you more to buy foreign currencies. Now, this will then incentivize companies to produce in the US rather than buy from abroad. And of course, as production goes up, this goes into my next point, I think the price of copper can really go up as well in the coming years. Now, we know that gold and silver have gone up, but copper, I think, can see a massive surge, especially if we see increased production and with the demand for EV adoption. And we have a lot of copper demand in different industries. And therefore, I think that copper, currently it has not broken out yet, but I definitely think that in the next coming years, there will be a massive surge and price increase for copper. And therefore, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. And as always, best thing to do is just buy and hold Bitcoin. With that being said, hope you guys liked it. See you next time. Bye.